Hey ghouls and gals, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and today is going to be the very first of my Summerween vlogs. It is the very first day of the Summerween readathon and boy am I excited to get started. This readathon could not come at a better time because honestly it's like 100 degrees outside. I live in Arkansas and I am not a summer person. I've never been a summer person even when I lived up north and I'm not a summer person now. So we're just going to live in kind of a delusion and pretend that it's fall. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to be doing all of the fun fall spooky things, kicking off spooky season, reading some great horror books, gonna go see a movie. I think I'm gonna go see Insidious chapter 5 tomorrow, I believe. So I am very excited for that. I think there's a prompt where you need to bake a treat or, you know, make like a fun fall beverage. So all of that's going to be happening. We're going to be pretending it's fall. We're gonna be staying inside because it's hot. And I am going to be trying to wear a fun summery horror shirt every single day of the readathon. I have a lot of graphic tees. It's like 95% of what I wear, but I am going to try and, you know, not only vlog this entire readathon, but make it very fun and wear all of my not just horror shirts, but my summery kind of horror shirts. So I think I can do that. First t-shirt we got is a very neon Stephen King's It. I really like wearing this shirt with my hair currently, but that's the shirt of the day. And then the book of the day, if you know you've ever watched a video, you might have guessed it. You see my TBR back there. Maybe you've seen my TBR video talking about all of the books that I was going to read. Well, I had a TBR disruptor already. I know, very first day of the readathon and we're already just, you know, going off track, but I have been so excited to read this book. So it came in at my library, ready for me to read it. I also got access to the audiobook on Libby at the same time, which is super cool. The audiobook is actually narrated by the main actress in the horror movie Smile that came out last year. So that's been actually pretty cool. But I did start this audiobook today and I am 96 pages into it. And this is a small one. It's 260 something pages. So about 40% of the way through this one, and this is very, very intriguing. So this is kind of American Psycho, but if instead of Patrick Bateman, our main character is a woman named Maeve Fly. I don't even think I've said the title of this book, Maeve Fly by CJ Leede. Maeve Fly, think very much American Psycho, but she works as a Disney princess in Disneyland. So very, very wild vibes. This book is very humorous and I think it is currently, I mean, I haven't finished it yet, but I think it's currently doing something that is very hard to pull off, which is having very gruesome, gory, disgusting, disturbing things, and then humor as well. And the humor is like very funny. And I think it's just because of like the bizarrety of this woman, Maeve. She's a Disney princess. That's her job. And she definitely doesn't look or act like she has the monstrous tendencies that she has underneath the surface. So this is very strange. The cover, super strange. I'm into it. This was a cover not by, but I saw the cover and knew I needed to read more about it, put it on my TBR. Also a Tour Nightfire release. They just always knock it out of the park with their horror releases. So honestly, I'm having such a good time with this. I could definitely anticipate like seeing myself finishing it today, which, you know, if I want to make it to all the books that I have actually put on my TBR, then that would be the smart thing to do. In terms of prompts that this is fulfilling, this does have black on the cover, so we could use it for that. We could kind of stretch it and say orange maybe, but this also does take place at the end of September, beginning of October, so it does take place in the autumn. So if you are still looking, if you want to join in late, or if you are still looking for a book that takes place in the fall or autumn, because that was the one that I had the hardest time with picking out a set TBR for, this takes place in the autumn and it is very, very disturbing. So book one of Summerween is going well so far. I'm going to go read some more of Maeve Fly and I will check back in with a reading update in a little bit. Happy second day of Summerween. Today's spooky summery shirt is, I got this at TJ Maxx, I believe. TJ Maxx or Marshalls. I actually got it last week, so they have a pretty good Summerween selection. They had this one. They have a couple Ghostface ones, some Michael Myers ones, some Goosebumps ones. So this shirt definitely has that Summerween spirit. So that's the shirt of the day. I finished Maeve Fly by CJ Leede, and what a good start to Summerween. I really enjoyed this one. We're following our main character Maeve Fly. By day, she works as the ice princess at the happiest place on earth, and by night she stalks local dive bars and maybe indulges her appetites for something a little darker than her day job. So yeah, this book, I feel like, as well as Maeve herself mentions this, feels very much like American Psycho, only set in LA. It's very much like an ode to LA, an ode to Disney, like a lot of that. So that was very interesting, just like the bizarreness of a Disney princess murdering people and having murderous tendencies. This gets very brutal, especially at the end in terms of body horror and descriptions of, I feel like if you've ever read American Psycho, you kind of know like some of the kills in there are very grotesque in the way that they are described. Same here. So just know that going into this one. The audiobook is fantastic. I did switch on and off reading it physically and reading via the audiobook. This is written first person and in a way where you feel like Maeve is like talking to you, the reader, at times. So I just find that works so well in an audiobook format, because you really feel like you're sitting down and Maeve is talking to you, not that you probably want to sit down across from Maeve Fly and talk about the things that she likes to do, but hell of a story. So definitely a really good start to Summerween. And I am using this as the book that takes place in the fall or autumn. This does take place, I think I mentioned this earlier, starts in late September, goes through Halloween. So yeah, definitely a really good Summerween read, really good book. Very obsessed with the cover, and just there are some gory scenes in there that definitely rival American Psycho, if you've ever read that. So yeah, would recommend. This is very gross, very gory, and very like funny, tongue-in-cheek, entertaining. Like at times that's like a very hard balance with that extreme gore, and then the humor in this was pulled off really well. So really good start. I will be picking up something by this author if she decides to publish another book, but now I have to figure out what I'm going to read for my next book of the readathon. So yeah, I'm really not sure what I'm going to pick up next. I'm feeling maybe one of my more supernatural ones, because that one was more of a slasher. There wasn't any like paranormal elements in it, so I'm thinking something paranormal. My partner and my puppies are taking a nap right now, so I have a little bit of time to get some reading in, just some quiet alone time to read, which will be really good. So I'm not really sure. I am gonna put together, I just have some stuff that I got for my birthday. I got some Evolution Funko Pops, so I'll probably put those up where they need to go, because we do have my partner's office area where we do like all of our gaming and stuff like that. We have several shelves, and I have like a whole Evolution shelf, or at least I'm working on it, so I'm gonna put those up. So maybe I'll put on an audiobook while I am setting that up. But other than that, when they wake up, I don't think we have any big plans other than the fact that we are going to go see Insidious tonight. I think we're gonna go try to see Insidious tonight. We also have the Pope's Exorcist rented from the library, so you know, we're gonna watch one today, one tomorrow, I'm sure. So we'll see which one we end up deciding to watch. I think my partner's making dinner. He is definitely the better chef between the two of us, the better baker as well. So I think when it comes to, I'm planning on doing this later on in the week, so it won't be in this vlog, but when it comes to the prompt to make a spooky drink or a spooky snack, I'm gonna have him do that, and then I will just reap the rewards of being his partner and eat or drink whatever he makes. So yeah, that's really our plan. It's been on and off raining all day, which is excellent. I love the rain so much better than just dry heat, and it's still like 86 right now, which insanely with the rain feels cool because we've been sitting at like 95. So yeah, definitely going to be indoors heavy Summerween vlogs, but I have my leaves candle lit in the background on my Bath and Body Works, either a witch or a vampire, I don't know, but I love it, candle stand that I got last year. So I have that lit. I have my lights. I'm gonna throw on a Halloween ambiance. I'm going to pick out another book and just relax a little bit. But yeah, first book down of Summerween is a really good one, so I'm excited to pick up another one, and let's get to reading. It's me again, still Saturday afternoon, and I finished another book. One of the prompts was read a novella, comic, graphic novel, something like that. So I did go ahead and pick up my graphic novel pick for the readathon and was able to finish this fairly quickly. It's, you know, smaller. Such is the nature of graphic novels for me, but this is by the comic book team that did Monstrous, which is my favorite graphic novel series, and that is Takeda and Marjorie, and this is the first in a horror trilogy called The Night Eaters. This is volume 1, She Eats the Night. Volume 2 actually comes out this fall, so I'm very excited to pick that up during actual Halloween time. So this was a very fascinating start to the trilogy. I'm kind of hoping that it might be a little longer because this one definitely introduced everything, and you don't really get a lot of answers. You have a lot of questions, so I'm trying to think within like the next 2 volumes just how much is going to be packed into those volumes, because we are following 2 Chinese American twins. Their names are Millie and Billy, and their parents actually immigrated from Hong Kong, and then they lived in Hawaii for a little bit, and now they live in New York City. Now the twins run their own restaurant. This is actually set in the height of COVID in New York, which isn't really relevant to the story, at least not yet, but it is really interesting to see like all the characters wearing masks in public spaces, and just the little things that like we implemented culturally for a little bit, like, you know, the elbow bumps instead of handshakes, like you saw characters doing that in the background. So that was interesting. But our main characters run a restaurant. They're currently living with their immigrant parents, and there is a house that may or may not be haunted across the street, and their mother, who is featured on the cover, and at the beginning of each chapter of this you actually do see a flashback scene from their parents, like not childhood but like teen to adulthood, 50s to 70s in Hong Kong and then Hawaii. But their parents decide to take them to this haunted house, or rather their mother, and their father follows their mother's lead because their mother thinks that they're too soft. And Millie and Billy think this is because it's like a, you know, first generation American thing, how, you know, their immigrant parents have expectations, but it turns out that maybe their parents are a little something different, and it turns out this haunted house is a little something different as well, and strange things are going to happen to all of them in this haunted house. I don't know, it's hard to describe a graphic novel without giving too much away, but very intriguing. Very intriguing. There were some haunted dolls in here, which I really loved. They're very creepy and cute. And this definitely was the supernatural pick that I was enjoying. So yeah, second book of the readathon down. Definitely not going to be finishing a book every single day, I don't think. But for now, day 2, book 2 done. Obviously that's like the nice thing about graphic novels, is that they're pretty easy, they're pretty fast reads. I really enjoyed this. I'm intrigued to pick up the next volume. It's hard to say. I mean, Monstrous is my all-time favorite, so I still think that I enjoy that more than this, but I'm really excited that I have this and excited to continue the series. So yeah, I enjoyed this. That's book 2 down. I don't know, I'm in like a really good reading mood, so I might keep these good vibes going, pick up another book. We'll just have to see, but that's it for this update. I'm gonna go find a spot on my shelf to put this graphic novel. Hopefully I can find a spot like on the same shelf as Monstrous, but yeah, I'm going to go put this away and maybe pick up another book, and I will talk to you all later. So it is day 3, Sunday, of the Summerween readathon, and I am going to be wrapping up this vlog and then immediately starting another one. But I did have to make just a quick little update about last night's movie, Insidious, The Red Door. I really liked it. Got a fun little poster at the movie that I think maybe I'll hang up somewhere in this room, but I really enjoyed it. It was like a little formulaic, but in a good way. I think Insidious 1, 2, and then this one make a really good trilogy. 3 I don't really care for, and there are some things about 4 that kind of bother me, although I do think it's better than 3. But I just really enjoyed this one. Patrick Wilson is like such a delight, and this was his directorial debut. And I saw in a Letterboxd review that it was like, leave it to Patrick Wilson to create like a very wholesome scary movie, because it was that. There were a lot of scares. It was fun to watch in a theater because there were jump scares, you know, with that loud Insidious music that the franchise is kind of known for. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It made me feel very old because they used all of the same child, well, actually, I don't know if they used like the baby. That might have been a new actress, but you know, everyone came back from the first cast. The 2 boy child actors are now like young men, so that makes me feel very old. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it wrapped up this franchise, or at least the Lambert family part of the franchise, very nicely. So it's a really good trilogy if you watch 1, 2, and then 5. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It had some really good scares, and there are some very gross moments, and then some wholesome moments as well. So it was a really good movie watching experience, and it was definitely a fun one to watch in the theater because I remember back in the day, like 10-ish years or so ago now, Insidious was one of the very first horror movies that I got to watch in theaters, that I went to go see in theaters. So yeah, it was an enjoyable time, and definitely a really good way to wrap up this very first Summerween vlog. I did start a book, but we're gonna talk about this one in my next vlog because I did not get very far into it. But the 2 books that I did read already for Summerween were really good and I really enjoyed them. Had a really fun time watching Insidious, The Red Door. And that is going to be it for the first Summerween vlog. More to come. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, let me know how your Summerween TBR, how your reading is going. Subscribe to my channel for all of the cozy gaming and spooky reading content. Stay safe, stay spooky, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!